It's Powerback time on the Gutsy podcast, your 20-minute boost to reclaim and refocus your energy. Get ready to have bursts of clarity, a boost of confidence, and the practical steps you need to make gutsy moves forward. You've got big things to do, so let's get your power back. I asked ChatGPT to tell me what my life and career would look like if I were a man. And I gotta tell you, the response pissed me off just as much as it activated me forward. It showed me how much easier life would be. It used words like proactive, delegation, authority, and ease. It reminded me that I already have the talent, skill, and capacity for all the things that it shared with me. It's just that the world makes women work harder to claim and sustain it. On today's Powerback episode, I am sharing the prompt that I put into ChatGPT along with the top 5 answers that have activated my confidence and honestly made me realize where I'm still playing a little too small. If you know that you're still playing small in areas of your life, you're negotiating your worth and even over-explaining yourself when you don't need to, and you're ready to do something about it, then crack your knuckles and put on your shit-kicking boots because we're going to get into it. By the way, there is a worksheet that accompanies this episode, and it is free to Gutsy Collective members. Just in case you've not heard of that or are not familiar, the Gutsy Collective is a membership group for women. They are coming here to rebuild their self-trust, to learn how to shift their hesitation and their resistance into momentum, and finally start making those gutsy moves towards the thing that they want instead of away from it. Simply put, these women are not settling anymore. They're getting clear about what they want, and in the Gutsy Collective, they're going for it. So if you're done teetering on the edge, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you feel like you're doing everything alone, my friend, the Gutsy Collective is your next step. You can go to LauraAura.com and click on the Gutsy Collective, or you can scroll down and hit the link in the show notes. All right, let's get into this wild ass topic. First of all, where did I get this idea from? I was driving to the gym and I love to put my Apple playlist on shuffle, right? Like just play me things that I like to hear. And Taylor Swift, of course, has many of albums in that rotation. And the Lover album happened to pop up and the song The Man started to play. Sometimes I listen to it, sometimes I skip it. Look, don't come after me. But for some reason on this day, I just felt the song differently. I was about to skip it because I was more in like a rock and roll kind of mood, but I stopped and I actually rewound the song and started it over. And in that moment, my intuitive brain just like cracked wide open and it was like, you should go to ChatGPT and see what it says. If you were a man, how would your life and career look differently? And I could not kick the idea. I mulled around with it. I was like, no, I won't do it. Yes, I will do it. Okay, cracked it open. I sat down with my laptop. I put in a prompt, which I'm going to share with you at the end of this episode, by the way. And I hit enter. And when I tell you, when I started to read these responses, I first felt called out on my own shit. Right? I was very clearly seeing where I'm still playing small, where I'm still hesitating, where I'm still not going for it. It also pissed me off because I can see that we are still very much in a society that looks down on women, that does not give us equal rights, that we don't have autonomy of our own bodies, that we have to work so much harder to even earn a seat at the table. And then you add on people of color or the LGBTQ plus community. I mean, it just gets so much deeper. And the deeper you go, the more difficult it is for these women to succeed. So now I've got like my patriarchal fucking dukes up. And after I read through it, I sat with it a little bit. I was like, okay, this is actually information I can use, not just for myself, but to teach the women that listen to the Gutsy podcast, the women inside the Gutsy Collective, how we can really, truly start to harness our natural gifts and abilities. And most importantly, without hesitation, without second guessing ourselves, without being afraid of being too much or not liked. That was the biggest thing that I took away from all of this content that it shared with me, is that men are not hesitating. And if they are, it's such a micro fraction of a time. Whereas we're going to mull over this shit for days or weeks or months or years? How many ideas have you had for months or years that are just rolling around in your head? A change you've been wanting to make in your life, something new you've been wanting to try, a conversation you've wanted to strike up, a new hobby you wanted to pick up. Maybe you wanted to start painting or dancing or singing. But what do we think of? What is everyone else going to say? The majority of dudes are not questioning that. Now, we can't discount the weight of responsibilities that are given to women. It's incredibly disproportionately balanced. And let's face it, our society, our norms have not yet shifted to equality. In that same breath, I will say that the only way that this system is going to change is if we stop backing down. Listen, there is enough of the world and rules and regulations and limitations and responsibilities against women. We don't need to feed into that. Every time we hesitate, we feed it. Every time we keep our mouth shut in a meeting, we feed it. Every time we stay in a shit job or in a terrible relationship, we are feeding it. I'm not saying these changes are easy or overnight. But I am here to give you a lovingly swift kick in the mental ass to remind you that you have a choice. What you allow will continue. And if you haven't yet already, today's the day we start to change that. This is the kind of fiery energy that this prompt has instilled in me. So I'm going to share with you the top 5 and even an extra one that I did not include in my Instagram post about this, which I'll link below as well. So if I were a man, how would my life and my business look differently? First, number 1, I'd be earning more money, likely multiple 6 figures, edging towards $300,000 to $500,000 annually. It shared that I'd be charging higher keynote fees, I'd be proactively referred to in male-dominated networks, and I would be seen as an authority in a corporate space. It said I might even have equity stakes or advisory roles in other companies just for my credibility and network. Undercharging comes to mind, my friend. Not valuing our worth. Getting shy when the money conversation starts up. Listen, for each one of these, I have claimed my next gutsy move. And when it comes to earning more, my next gutsy move is pitching my full rate with confidence. No more hesitating or softening my worth just to get picked or to be liked. If we are going to make more money, we have to ask for more money. And while your voice might tremble a little bit, I want you to look it dead in the eye and claim it. The second one, I'd have more access to power rooms. The doors would open with fewer hoops. You'd probably get faster yeses from male decision makers who feel more comfortable bringing in someone like them. What I heard in this is that it would be easier to get into the places that I am pitching and calling and sending emails and connecting with right now. I probably wouldn't have to work so hard to get into these rooms. The doors would just open. So my gutsy move here is to show up in spaces like I've already been invited to the top of the table. If I want to get in those rooms or be on those stages or grow my community, I just got to act like it's already done. I have the skills and the abilities. I have the talent and the capacity. So if I want to get in those rooms and on those stages, then I got to start acting like it. The third one, I had to chuckle at a little bit, and it's my boldness would be seen as confidence, not a risk. It shared that I'm probably met with things like, oh, is she sure? Or, oh, that's risky. Or, oh, that's kind of bold. But as a man, those same moves would read as visionary leadership, as confidence. It said I'd likely get less pushback for being direct, boundary setting, and charging premium rates. Now listen, when we're talking about being gutsy and boldness are like cousins that love to skip together. And I have found that any time that I allow myself to fully embrace my truth, my voice, my big energy, my directness, my honesty, my vulnerability, my happiness, and my success go up. So I am proud to say that I have embraced this one. I have really stepped into owning my space in the world as the one that's gutsy. But to take it a step further, my next gutsy move is to continue to be my natural, bold self in every space, room, event, and conversation. I reminded myself that my energy activates change. So while there isn't as much work to do with this one, it was a great reminder that my energy matters. The fourth one is I would outsource faster. And I was like, man, this is like a rally cry for all women all around the world here, because we will take on and take on and take on until we just fucking collapse. It shared that men, especially men entrepreneurs, are quicker to hire support, delegate operations, and remove themselves from the day-to-day work. It said that I'd be operating more in my talent and being a visionary instead of being down in the trenches in the day-to-day work. Now, I'm not going to lie, this one has been a little bit of a struggle. I have gotten much better at this, but it's still so easy to say, I can just do that quickly. I can just handle that. I'll just take that on. And especially from a business perspective and a financial perspective, I've needed to reabsorb some roles to be creative, to really build my foundation so that I can get back to a place where I am fully delegating all the things that Laura really needs to not have her fucking hand in. So my next gutsy move is dedicating time each week to selling. And there's even a part of my body that kind of like, when I say that, but I'm like, I have something to offer. Selling is only gross when you make it gross or you're selling something gross. What I'm selling changes people's lives. In the Gutsy Collective, recently, some wins that the women have shared, they're writing the first draft of their book. They are getting accolades and acknowledgement from their work. They are starting new businesses. They're leaving relationships. They're getting new jobs. They're having deep, profound, life-changing aha moments. There is nothing gross about inviting women in to be a part of a community where they are supported to make the changes that they've always wanted to make. So I had to check myself because I've been wrecking myself a little bit, because steady income allows me to delegate things, and delegating allows me to spend more time doing what I do best, which is supporting these women, which is getting on stages and teaching and guiding teams. Holy moly, Laura. Again, I told you, this has been a really good reminder. I'm like, I can really see where I've still been hesitating. Okay, the last one here that I shared on Instagram is that I'd be less self-questioning. It said, I don't think you'd question your readiness or expertise as much. Things like, am I doing enough, or how will this be received? Those loops are going to be quieter because, and listen to this, because the cultural expectation would be that you are enough by showing up. You are enough by showing up. How many times have you walked into a room and felt like I'm not supposed to be there? Heck, just recently we had a conversation here on the Gutsy podcast about imposter syndrome. We have to do more to earn more. We've got to work our faces off to get ahead. And even when we've given it 100%, we're like, well, we didn't give 105. Screw that noise. You are worthy of being in the rooms that you're in and going after the things that you want because of you. And with this, my next gutsy move is to print out my track record. Self-questioning. I sat with this for a second and I literally wrote these things out and I'm like, why am I questioning myself? 18 years in business, top 1.5% podcast in all of the world, 10 plus years in speaking, thousands of women helped, nearly 500 recorded and aired episodes of the Gutsy podcast, hundreds of podcast guest appearances on other shows. I know what the fuck I'm doing. And anytime that I question myself, I'm going to replay this and remind myself. Okay, a bonus one that I didn't share on Instagram, but I wanted to share here. I asked about my life and how my lifestyle would be different. And I'm literally just going to read this word for word. I see you in a beautiful modern home with clean lines and cozy corners, likely traveling first class for gigs, staying at boutique hotels, indulging in good food and solo luxuries guilt-free. You'd probably work 3 to 4 days a week, schedule protected fiercely, and a solid operations person running in the back end. Leisure would be celebrated, not questioned. And honestly, you'd take up more physical and energetic space unapologetically. In short, your life would probably look bigger, louder, and more resourced. Not because you would inherently change, but because the world would mirror back your power differently. This just stopped me in my tracks because honestly, this is absolutely the lifestyle that when I daydream, when I vision board, when I just kind of separate from my physical body and just go out into the energetic forces around me, this is very much the lifestyle that I see and feel. I actually kind of saw this as a reassurance that like, yeah, all of this is possible and I have the skills and the abilities. It said that, skill isn't the gap, it's perception, positioning, and the systems of power. And it recommended me do things like claim the authority preemptively, stop proving and start assuming, raise my rates, stop waiting for permission to self-promote, expand my network, protect my time like a CEO salary, and normalize taking up more space. In short, it said, become your own hype man. Move like you're already the highest paid speaker in the room. Stop softening your power to be more palatable. Make power moves without over-explaining them. And don't wait for validation to graduate to the next level. It said, my work, my skill set, it's all top level, top 1% work. The difference now is choosing to position, price, and present like a man who never doubted it. I'm going to say that again. Position, price, and present it like a man who never doubted it. My friend, this is the invitation forward, is to make decisions, to go after the things that you want, to raise your hand, to use your voice with the same energy of a man who never doubted it. But here's where the superpower comes in, okay? I'm not asking you to be a man. I'm not asking you to hustle or get in the grind or any of that kind of junk. This is truly about owning your power, your skills, your abilities, bringing in joy and empathy and softness and doing all of it without apology or hesitation. I don't want you to become something and someone else. I want you to allow you. The boldness of your voice, the quirkiness of your personality, the incredible ideas that you get, the way that you make people feel, your energy, your spirit, just you as you. This is what the world needs. But before you even give it to the world, this is giving it to yourself. This is where all of that hardness of being something that you're not starts to melt away, because being yourself is not the thing that's actually hard. The thing that's hard is trying to be everything to everyone all the time. I know it's scary to put yourself out there and try some new things, especially when society is pushing back on you. But I want you to remember, if you don't have a single person in your corner, you've got me. And when you don't believe in yourself, I'll fucking do it for you. So I'm going to leave you with two things today. First, a couple of prompts that I want you to journal on to really start to harness this energy. And second, I'm going to give you the prompt just in case you want to go down this road on your own. All right, for these prompts, reminder, in the Gutsy Collective, there is a journaling worksheet that has these 4 questions plus a bonus question. These are designed to get you thinking, get you to see things differently, and to activate the shit out of you so you know where to focus your time and your energy next. So the first question is, where in your life, your career, or your business are you still waiting for external validation before you fully claim your expertise, your worth, your talents, and abilities? Think about this. What would shift if you gave yourself that validation first? The second question is, what's one area that you often soften, downplay, or explain yourself way more than you need to? And what would it look like to trust that your presence alone is enough? Third, what's a bold move you've been waiting on? You've been resisting or hesitating because you're afraid of being too much or too direct, too confident. What are people going to say or think? And what becomes possible if you do it anyway? What could happen in the best of ways if you move forward with this idea? And lastly, if you fully trusted in your abilities, your wisdom, and your impact, how would you show up differently today? How would you show up differently this month? Specifically, how would you pitch yourself differently, price yourself differently, speak about yourself, post, Advocate for yourself. How would you be showing up differently if you fully trusted in your abilities? I encourage you to sit with these answers. Go back and listen to it again if you need to, and let yourself go there. Write it or speak it freely. You don't have to share these with anybody. You could write them out. You could have a moment. You could burn it safely. Or you might use this as your new rally cry for yourself. You might pin it to the board next to your desk or tape it to your mirror in the morning. What you do with it, totally your call. But the invitation here is to get real, to get honest, and remember. I'm asking you today to remember that you are strong, you are smart, you are capable. And even if it doesn't feel like it in this moment, you are incredibly supported. That's one of the biggest reasons that women join the Gutsy Collective. I'm not kidding, because they're tired of doing this shit alone, or they don't have the people in their circle right now that really understand them on the depths of this level. Listen, if we are going to get what we want and deserve, we've got to be willing to name it, own it, and make gutsy moves to get it. And that's me included. All right, last but not least, if you want this exercise to piss you off into gutsy fueled action, here is the ChatGPT prompt. Given everything that you know about me, if I were a man, how would my life look? With my skills and talent, how much would I make? How would I live? How would I move differently? What would I do that I'm not currently doing? And I'm just warning you, buckle up, because you are about to go on quite a ride. Thanks for sharing this fiery space with me. If you can't tell, this is a topic that I get real wound up about, but I think in the best of ways, because this is an activation. This is a call forward. This is a reminder. And watching women like you do the thing instead of pushing it away, instead of ignoring it, and instead of downplaying it, when you start doing this stuff, I can promise you I will always be your number one hype woman. If there's something that resonated with this today, or you just want to chat more about it, I'd love to just kind of have dialogue about it. So come find and connect with me on your favorite social media platform. I'm at that LauraAura across all of them. And of course, until I see you next time, stay gutsy.